In a distant African village, nestled amongst lush green hills and ancient baobab trees, there ruled a king named Mubarak. His reign was unlike any other, for his marriages were bound by a peculiar tradition. Each queen he wed would bear him a child, but their union lasted only 2 years. After that brief period of prosperity, the queens and their families were promised a secluded palatial home from the palace, a paradise where they could live out their days in comfort. But this promise was a lie. King Mubarak had a secret, one that bites at his conscience like a hungry lion. The secluded palatial homes were not havens of luxury. They were the heart of a dense forest where wild beasts roamed freely. The king believed that sacrificing his queens prolonged his own life and kingship. And so, with each passing year, he sent his beloved wives to their doom, their screams echoing through the ancient trees. Yet, there was one queen who defied this fate, Scarlette. She hailed from a distant village, her beauty fierce and untamed. When the king proposed marriage, she made an unusual request. "Show me the palatial home," she demanded, her eyes unyielding. King Mubarak hesitated, but Scarlette's allure was irresistible. He married her, hoping she would be no different from the others. But Scarlette was no ordinary queen. She had heard whispers of the forest's true nature, and her heart burned with curiosity. As the days turned into months, Scarlette observed the other queens. She noticed their fear, their whispered conversation with the elderly palace maid, the only witness to their fate. This maid, wrinkled and wise, had once known Scarlette in her village. She recognized the princess's spirit, even if Scarlette herself did not remember. Scarlette devised a plan. She secretly hired forest guards, skilled men who cleared the dense forests and removed the skeletons of the late queens. With the fortune she had amassed from her marriage, she transformed the forest into a thriving community. Mud huts turned into well-built cottages, and laughter replaced the touching cries of doomed queens. But Scarlette had another secret. She deliberately remained childless during her 2-year reign. She knew that motherhood would seal her fate. Instead, she focused on her community, building schools, wells, and a vibrant marketplace. The villagers adored her, unaware of the darkness that loomed beyond their borders. Finally, the day arrived, the end of Scarlette's 2-year term. The king led her towards the palatial mansion, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. But as they stepped into the forest, Scarlette's heart raced. She had hidden the truth well, but could she fool the king? To her surprise, the forest had transformed. Blooming flowers lined the path. The birds sang melodious tunes. The skeletons were gone, replaced by life. Scarlette's eyes met the elderly maids, and the old woman nodded. Her eyes filled with pride. Her role was complete, the keeper of stories and weaver of hope. And as the sun painted the sky, she vanished into shadows, leaving behind a legacy. The king gasped as they reached the heart of the forest. There stood a magnificent palace, its walls adorned with murals depicting love, sacrifice, and renewal. Scarlette smiled, her secret intact. "Welcome to our new home," she said, and the king's shock mirrored the amazement in his eyes. And so, Scarlette's reign continued. She ruled wisely, her belly never swollen with a child. The villagers thrived, unaware of the sacrifices that had paved their way. King Mubarak grew old, but Scarlette remained untouched by time. As for the first wife, the one who had stayed forever in the palace, she watched from the shadows, her eyes filled with envy. For Scarlette had rewritten their tragic tale, turning it into a legend of hope and resilience. And so, the enchanting forest of Scarlette whispered its secret to the wind, promising that sometimes, even in darkness, a queen could become a savior.